Yo, and welcome to the stream. We're about to go ahead and start off the intro as usual. If you're thinking about becoming a member or you're thinking about gifting members, now is the time to do it, as we're about to go ahead and start the show. Let's go!
Yeah. Stream king flexing, pressing record, no stressing. Frame tight, focus sharp, never second guessing. Live stream heat, no edit confession. Chat lit, crazier than a Shark Tank session. Lighting up the feed, living in the stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Timer set, blindfolded while the stakes peak. Spicy noodle sweat running, voice getting weak. Ice bath, cold words freeze mid-speak. Content so fire, it trends every week. Lighting up the feed, living in the stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Super chat rings, audience full of kings. Comment section buzzing, making viral wings. Challenges click, grip tighter like slings. Epic every stream, crowds flocking like spring. 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah. Skyscraper beam, ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Yeah. Super chat rings, audience still the kings. Spicy noodle sweat, running, voice getting weak. Ice bath, cold words freeze mid-speak. Content so fire, it trends every week. 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah. 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah. Run this game.
Hello and welcome to Dan BYT Official Live. So, we have just started the show, and let's see if there are some people in here. It looks like there are a couple of people in chat. Hello. Hope everything is working fine this time as well. If you tuned into the last stream, you'll know that we had a couple of minor technical issues. And by minor technical issues, I mean, well, there was a couple of technical issues in that stream. But I'm also going to keep the microphone here a little bit more because it might improve the sound, because apparently the audio was a little bit low. So hopefully that this pretty much improves that side of things. Speaking of improvements as well, we have pretty much fixed the Discord notifications which were going off in the background of the last stream. I figured out how to do it, and I have sorted that entire thing out. So that should be all fixed for this stream. Also, because of due to the outpour of support that we got on our last stream and the whole support thing, well, yeah, the outpouring of support that we got on our last stream, I've decided to take the decision to actually just go ahead and activate TTS. So I figured out a way to do it and try and activate TTS, and I've got it running right now, and TTS is available right here for donations of $5 or more. So if you super chat that, basically TTS is on and running for this stream. So we've got that up and running. But let's get into the content of this stream and a couple of little updates if you didn't see that update video, which I have released just basically within the last couple of hours. So we are going to be talking about in the stream, we're basically going to be talking about mine and how basically I met and became friends with Roxy Unfiltered. Now, for some of you guys in the stream, you will know Roxy from her own streams and all of that kind of stuff. But for anyone who doesn't know who Roxy is, which I would be surprised at this point, she basically is a content creator and streamer like myself right now. So, and there's a whole story of how we ended up meeting and how we ended up becoming friends, and it's a pretty interesting story. So I wanted to sit down on stream and sort of actually just, get into the story and tell the full story. So that is the plan for this stream. I have a little twist as well, which I'm going to announce in a little bit, but this is pretty much the main plan for this stream right here. So yeah, we're going to get right into this stream and talking about it as well. But yeah, so the concept of the stream has changed a couple of times, and we originally wanted to get Roxy on for an interview and do like an entire live segment, but that ended up not working out because of the time differences and the schedule and all of that kind of stuff. So we then moved on to the idea of trying to see if she could get some clips and reactions to some questions and air out some thoughts on some particular subjects and all of that kind of stuff. And then there was an incident yesterday, and pretty much she isn't able to actually film these clips. So I had to sort of like do a last minute switch up, and basically I will be telling the full story. So that is the reason why. But I do actually have a couple of clips which I pulled for you all and for all of your entertainment for today's stream. So yeah, this is going to be pretty fun, and something that I think is going to be quite interesting as well, because I've never really told this story before now, and it's something that is quite random, and it ended up turning out into a really, really cool thing. So we're going to get into that in just a second. I'm going to try and pin in the comments about TTS obviously and stuff. But there is, in fact, a twist to this stream. And the twist to this particular stream is that right here I have some chilies in a package right here. And every single time somebody drops a $10 TTS, I am going to eat a chili. And of course, there's no pressure to drop any TTS or anything. I just have them here, and I thought this could be a cool little thing for this stream. So yeah, if that happens, then I'm going to go ahead and eat one of them chilies. So yeah, that's kind of to add an extra layer of fun to this stream right here. So yeah, if you are in chat, of course, let me know that you're in chat. But without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and get into this whole stream, and we're gonna go ahead and tell the story. And to tell the story, we've got to go from the beginning. So I'm gonna actually just let a little extra time just to see if we can get some more people in here. So yeah, we're gonna leave that, and whilst I'm gonna do that, I am also going to hop up right now and try and pin the TTS comment. So I'll be back in a second, guys. We'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. I've returned. So I managed to pin that, which is quite good because I have never actually pinned a message before on YouTube. So yeah, that's quite well. Not a pinned message. Well, I know how to pin messages on YouTube, but I didn't know how to do it on live stream. So I had to kind of figure that one out quite quickly for this stream. But yeah, so we're going to be basically going over this story in today's stream, which I'm actually quite excited for. So we're going to get into this right now, and we're going to start off at the beginning of this story, which starts with a completely different YouTuber, Boogie2988. Now, Boogie is a YouTuber who I have actually been watching for a very long time. Actually, funny enough, I've been watching Boogie's channel since before I've actually been watching, well, since before I've even made content on this YouTube channel. He is one of the OG YouTubers who I did watch from quite early on in the YouTube space. And yeah, so I watched all of his old videos, including all of Francis skits, the freakouts, all of them viral moments, which I'm sure many people will probably remember who've grown up with YouTube and all of that kind of stuff. So I pretty much, yeah, so I watched him through all of them times. But as with a lot of YouTubers back then, as time goes on, you probably become a little bit less of a frequent watcher, and that's kind of what happened until there was a big announcement that came from Mr. Keemstar himself that Boogie2988 would be fighting another person in one of the heaviest boxing matches of all time. Now, this is something that was actually quite interesting. I knew Boogie, but I didn't know his opponent, Wings of Redemption. So I thought, you know what? It's a fight. I think it was on YouTube at the time, or like I was able to watch it quite easily. So I decided, you know what? Let's watch this fight. I've been watching Boogie, so I'm probably gonna end up rooting for him. And yeah, let's go and give this a shot. So I watched the fight, and obviously in the end Boogie did lose, and Wings of Redemption did win in that fight. But nevertheless, yeah, pretty much after this happened, I then discovered that they basically did a podcast show together. And it was a live podcast show. And I was like, I don't really watch many live streams at this point in time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot, see what it's all about. And yeah, that's pretty much how the story went, how I started watching LOLCal Live, and how I sort of got into the LCU space. And yeah, this is pretty interesting because, again, I didn't know Wings beforehand. I just knew Boogie, so this gave me like a new perspective on this entire thing, and yeah, it was pretty entertaining as well at the same time, which is always good. Then I figured out that they had more of an expanded universe. They had other live shows, and I thought, you know what? Let's give this a shot. Let's have a look. So I ended up going into the LOLcow Universe Discord, and yes, the LOLcow Universe Discord is a very interesting place. But I ended up going in there, and I will never forget this. My first ever interaction within the LOLcow Universe Discord came from a creator and somebody from one of them shows named Ken, who ran LOLcow Cafe, and this was obviously the morning cafe show. So, but regardless, it was quite interesting because I literally I came into the Discord, and I think I said hi or something like that, and then he just randomly responded with banned, which again, I was completely out of context. I was brand new to there, so I was like, wait, what? And then obviously we ended up talking a little bit through that. So I talked to Ken a little bit, and over time I was like, okay, so I need to figure out what shows are gonna be my type of thing, because I know they have like a bunch of different shows. So I actually ended up just putting in the chat, I ended up just throwing into the chat one day. I was like, okay, somebody recommend me some shows, because I don't know what show to watch here. So somebody recommended a couple of different shows from the LCU. One of them actually being Nerds, I think it was, and one of them also being Milkers at the time. So these were two suggestions which were sort of put out there, and if I'm going to be honest, the first show that I thought, okay, let me take a look at this and see what it's all about is Nerds, because I am a pretty avid Star Wars fan. I'm a fan of other, things, like Star Wars, Batman, all of them kind of, as you could say, nerdy type things. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a look at the show and see what it's all about. So I ended up taking a look at the show, and after a little bit, I was like, okay, this is quite interesting. And I decided to ask one of the hosts of the show whether I could come up and give my thoughts on maybe a couple of things, and maybe talk on a couple of things. And I ended up actually going up on a couple of them shows. So I ended up going up on a couple of them shows, and I think we talked about various different things that were going on at this time. I think this was leading up to a big event, which we're going to touch on in a little bit, in obviously this whole story. So pretty much I ended up going on the show, and I was like, okay, this is a pretty cool show. But what ended up happening is they ended up changing the hosts on the show, and I was like, okay, well, let me go ahead and see if there's any other shows and that I could watch, and maybe go ahead and have a look and see if there's any other shows that I could be kind of interested in, maybe even going up on or whatever. So I sat there and I was thinking, okay, what other shows are there? They mentioned whatever, and then it's like, okay, so I think I actually went back to the message, and okay, LOLcow Milkers. This seems different, but the show's on in, I think it was like 30 minutes, whatever, by this time. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna tune in. It's at a decent time in the UK time, so I was like, okay, not too late, not too crazy or anything like that. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead, tune into the show, see what it's all about. And I tuned into the show, and it was something that I thought I wasn't 100% sure if it was going to be a show for me, but I absolutely loved the dynamic of the show between the two main hosts at the time, which were Roxy and Savage. So this is the part of the story where everything starts obviously changing. So let me look where I've got some prompts here at the side, just letting you know that, so that I can tell this story and don't miss anything out as well. So let's have a little look right here. So yeah, so at this point, I was kind of watching Nerds and I was kind of watching Milkers at the same time and live. And I did, from time to time, tune into a couple of the other shows, but these were the main shows that I was watching at this particular time. So, after a couple of things, there was a pretty interesting incident which happened, which it kind of went down in the LCU history, well, especially for the Milkers show, as something that was quite. It was. Yeah, it was an event, let's just say that. Where I can't remember exactly what host or person went up, but basically somebody went up onto the show and figured out that Roxy, one of the hosts, had a huge phobia of the Chucky doll from the whole horror movie and all that kind of stuff. And they actually went up on stream and showed that, and Roxy obviously had a huge reaction to it, which I think she like fully like crashed out on stream and everything. It was like a big thing. And I remember after that, everybody was like posting like gifs of Chucky in the chats of the LCU. So I actually ended up just by chance, Roxy was in the chat and I ended up saying, yeah, I kind of get where you're coming from because I actually have a phobia of something else, which would basically makes me feel the same way as that other phobia would do. So that is. Wait, let me just refresh. Just refresh here. So yeah, basically, we ended up figuring out that okay, yeah, we understand each other on this sort of base and this whole subject that happened. So that was kind of like a crazy thing. And then I just ended up by chance. I asked to send her a message over Discord, and we ended up just randomly talking. And then she saw that my YouTube channel was linked to my Discord account, and ended up going over to my channel and watching a couple of videos, which I just, again, I didn't really expect that because, like, you know, message somebody like twice or whatever, and then next minute I get like a message back saying, by the way, love the videos and all that kind of stuff, and about that she watched like a couple of videos with me and my girlfriend and all of that kind of stuff. So that was kind of fun. And then we ended up talking and figuring out, okay, obviously she's a host of Milkers, and yeah, we ended up talking about the show. We ended up basically just chatting general stuff, if that obviously makes sense. So yeah, and yeah, anybody else who's new in chat, go ahead and go ahead and say hi in chat, and just see who is in here. But yeah, so the Chucky incident happened, and after that, I ended up watching the show, and yeah, I genuinely started to enjoy the show. I kind of got to know like some of the streams that were coming up and all of that kind of stuff, and I was not said at yo, so yeah, not still here. So yeah, we get to this next point in the stream, which is quite a big part of this whole thing. And actually, I do have a clip to go with this segment, but let me just introduce the segment first. So, next thing I know, there is a announcement from Keemstar on his whole podcast and stream, and this announcement is that pretty much just out, like, not out of nowhere, but there's kind of leading up that there's going to be a big event happening in the LCU. So I ended up thinking, okay, it's a big event happening. Let's see what this is all about. The big event in question ended up being Fat Camp. Now, I knew that they did a little bit of an event where they did like a whole camping trip stream, and that was like a whole thing in itself. So when they announced this new thing, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and see what this camping trip was all about and see it. And I ended up really, really enjoying it. I was like, okay, these could be cool streams, these could be alright, and I didn't know 100%. So I went back and looked at the camping trip streams, and they were actually like really, really entertaining. And I really liked the dynamic between Wings and Boogie and Keem. So I was like, okay, that was a really, really good thing. And apparently all the other hosts are going to be turning up to Fat Camp as well. So this is going to be like some huge event with multiple different hosts, multiple different crossovers during the shows, and it's going to be really, really cool. So after all of this went down, I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if Roxy is going to Fat Camp, and it turns out she did go to Fat Camp, and yeah, that the rest is history. Savage went as well, and a bunch of the other hosts went to Fat Camp. Now, Fat Camp was an event that I think was genuinely a positive event. I think it was good in terms of the actual event was a success. Yes, it did have a couple of little things that were that they had issues and things like that, but overall it was a pretty solid event, and I actually did enjoy it quite a bit. So, obviously seeing Roxy in Fat Camp, and we ended up actually talking through this entire phase. So, even whilst like the shows were going on and all that stuff, we ended up chatting behind the scenes and stuff, and that whole era ended up happening, and yeah, Fat Camp was pretty chaotic, I'm not gonna lie. So they had a huge property with basically they had a huge property where they had all of the hosts, well, not all of the hosts, but most of the hosts actually set up there and stay over there, and they had like a huge lake, and it was looking to be really, really cool. They came to find out that the lake was infested with snakes, and I actually have a clip here of one of these snakes, which turned out to be, I think, a venomous snake as well. And yeah, just take a look at this clip, because this looks pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So Roxy actually did make this little clip. It is on her channel, so obviously shout out to her for that clip. But yeah, just take a look at this clip, guys, because this is some pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, check out this clip.
Yo, look at this bitch. Our room is right here. That's our room. Savage is sleeping right there. Look at this bitch waiting for her to wake up. He's looking right at our room. He's like, rising sun, bitch. Welcome to your first day of Fat Camp. It's so easy here. Come on, I'm waiting for you, boo. Yeah, buddy. She gonna walk out that door and shit herself. Welcome to Fat Camp, Savage. This is your own. You only been here about 8 hours, bitch. Just wait. You wanna call me a baby? Call me a cry, baby. It ain't that bad. You get over it. You be alright. Alright, boo. I got you. You gonna be alright.
So yeah, that was the clip from the entire Fat Camp event. So yeah, that was pretty insane, I'm not gonna lie. Like, just to think that there were all them snakes just roaming around in there. There were people like literally jumping into the lake and swimming, and they was like infested. They found like a ton of snakes, like multiple snakes swimming around, and yeah, it was crazy. But on top of that, they did a lot of big, crazy event type stuff as well. They ended up destroying a car, which, again, that was kind of crazy. They did a bunch of sleep streams where they just left the TTS on and ended up going and sleeping in the little theater room there, which again, they ended up being really entertaining as well, because you had like the big streams in the day where they were doing like bigger stunts, whether that's canoeing over the snake infested lake in canoes, or whether that was destroying a car, or many other things which happened within that whole event. But then you had the sleep streams at night where, yeah, basically they served as like a little relaxation thing, and just something a bit different, a little bit more chilled out, and something that people could kind of just sit and get to know the host a little bit more, which I thought was a really cool thing. So yeah, all of this happened, and Fat Camp came and went, and then next up, everyone sort of went home. There was also a wedding at Fat Camp. I completely forgot about this. But yeah, there was a wedding at Fat Camp. One of the hosts ended up getting married at the event, which was actually pretty insane, I'm not going to lie. And they actually streamed the wedding, and they added like TTS and stuff to the wedding. So people were like donating random stuff, and it was obviously being blasted out on a Bluetooth speaker. Yeah. So that was in itself quite crazy. But yeah. So after Fat Camp ended, came and went. Next thing that happened was Roxy and Savage went back to streaming on Milkers through Discord. So back through Discord, obviously things were going back. But the content didn't stop for the Milkers show, because there was some really good streams that came from that show, and some that I really thought were like really fun. Notably, they ended up doing sleep streams. I think they were either before or after Fat Camp. I think it might have been after Fat Camp actually, but they ended up doing these sleep streams where they ended up basically doing like little challenges and things like that, but ended up doing them basically all night until the sun came up, which was, again, crazy within itself. So yeah, that is something that they ended up doing. And yeah, and the show kind of went on, and as time went on, I could definitely see that things were starting to happen. There were a couple of things that did happen on the show that caused some big spikes in drama, and when all of this drama stuff happened, that was when the show almost, for me, like, it got a little bit too drama heavy, and I could definitely see that Roxy could definitely see the same thing, and more so because she was obviously a part of that show. So things were starting to happen, and then out of the blue, out of nowhere, Savage got fired from Milkers, and that is probably the moment where I thought, yeah, okay, this show can't be the same, because I mean, the reason why I started watching it in the first place is because of due to the dynamic between Roxy and Savage, and it's just something that worked, it clicked, and it worked really well. So I really like that dynamic, and when they ended up firing Savage, they ended up bringing random new people onto the show, and it just didn't feel the same. It didn't pack the same punch. Nat said, "Oof, I remember that." Yeah. Nat was. I think Nat did watch some of the shows back in the day as well. So I mean, Roxy, if you are listening to this, then yeah, no, it's funny because my girlfriend Nat ended up actually watching some of these shows as well, and yeah, so I think I did miss something. Yeah, okay, so let's rewind a little bit because I did miss a tiny little point. So whilst Savage and Roxy were still on the show, I did actually end up coming on the show a couple of times, and basically I ended up coming on the show a couple of times, and yeah, pretty much, there wasn't like any crazy show or anything like that. Nothing significant. I just came up to give my thoughts on a couple of things that were happening at the time, and just to kind of hang out and vibe on the show. And we actually kind of did have something planned as well, because we ended up sitting there. We ended up sort of planning that maybe we could do like almost a trio stream, because it was Roxy and Savage at the time, and maybe like I could come up as like a guest or something like that, come up on the panel as a guest and partake in a bigger stream, or like a kind of a fun stream. I threw a couple of ideas around, and we were actually kind of getting to a point where we were like thinking about considering taking this to the managers of the show at the time, which were Keemstar and Michael, and we were kind of thinking about, okay, let's see if this would work, and yeah, let's pretty much just see if it could be a possibility where like I could come up on a show and maybe even give it a couple of ideas, and see what that potential could be. Unfortunately, that never ended up actually coming to light, because obviously Savage got fired, and then from there on, Milkers kind of went a little bit downhill. That said, I watched up until Savage got fired. Yeah. And I mean, the interesting thing is yes, I did really like Roxy on the show, and yes, I did obviously still keep on watching the show as Roxy was on it, and I wanted to support Roxy on that show, but they got to this point where they'd like throw other hosts onto the stream and then try and like shove drama and talk about drama, which is one thing that I think Roxy didn't want to really be doing. I mean, she said countless times over, after this whole thing went down, that she didn't want it to be so drama heavy, and she wanted it to be more about the challenges and the fun stuff and all of that kind of stuff. So that is what she wanted to do, and you could kind of tell that it was like kind of starting to go downhill after that. So yeah, that is that point of the actual story where all of that sort of was happening. So I, as a viewer and as a friend of Roxy's at this time, I was thinking, okay, like what's going to happen next? And there was a few times where she literally almost quit the show, and it was like, it was such a crazy time, because I was there, like, I was like, yeah, I'd understand if she did quit the show, but at the same time, like, I didn't want to break communication. I didn't want to end up like her quitting the show and then just disappearing, because I was like, yeah, this is like currently one of my favorite shows on the entire LCU. So if they changed up the hosts, we'd get the same thing as what happened with Nerds when they changed up the host and it became a completely different show. And that's not what I wanted. That's not what I wanted to watch, because I specifically came there to watch the dynamic between Roxy and Savage. So this happened for a while, and then out of the blue, one day, randomly, just again out of nowhere, Roxy ended up quitting the LCU. And at this moment I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? Is she going to upload to her own channel? And there was a little bit of time where I was like, okay, what's actually going to happen next? Is this just like going to end and that's it? Or, is this going to come to something new or something like that? So, and afterwards there was a time where Roxy ended up joining another network, known as the BBU, which already kind of seems quite similar to the LCU. It seems like a very similar type of thing, but except this was run by a former host of one of the other LCU shows. I think, Queens. So pretty much they ended up starting this new network, and instantly I kind of figured out that during this whole thing, and I'm just gonna touch on this because I don't really want to get into this, because again, this is something that is kind of ongoing, and quite frankly, it does annoy me. And but it's just something that I don't really want to get into too much on this stream. But yeah, so during this time, they joined that network, and obviously Roxy was back to doing streams again. But she ended up taking the streams to a whole new level and doing all of these different, IRL streams, and stuff that was a lot more fun than just the drama and stuff. So she took the best part of what Milkers was in these IRL sleep stream type of content, and then elevated it to another level. So then the IRL era was born for Roxy Unfiltered, and I can't lie, these IRL streams were really, really good. I enjoyed them a lot, and she was doing IRL streams on her own channel as well at this time, I believe, but she was also doing them on a joint channel as well. Well, another channel that was like a joint show and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, the content was good and everything was flowing, but I did kind of notice that Roxy was going out here spending a ton of money and making these big IRL streams, but on the other hand, the other hosts were kind of just sort of in the room whilst Roxy went out and done all these things. So there was definitely like an element to this where Roxy was really, really working hard to try and, she was properly putting in grind for these IRL streams. Because, again, knowing as even just a stream like this, it takes time to set up. It takes time to make, it takes time to set up. And if you're going to be doing an IRL stream and you're going to be planning things, it's going to take even longer. Like, you're talking, it's going to take, more time to set up. So I know how much time and effort Roxy ended up putting into these streams. So it got to a certain point when I heard that, I heard that she basically got fired from that. And I was like, okay, what's going on with this? And the reasoning why was honestly quite ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie, because it was like she couldn't commit to like the every show or something like that. So that era ended up ending fairly quick, I'm not gonna lie. And there is a lot of other things that happened in that entire thing, which does annoy me, because again, just to have a friend go through this kind of stuff, and yeah, some of this stuff was crazy. To have a friend go through this does really annoy you, in a sense. It does definitely piss me off. So that's why I don't want to get into this too much, because I feel like I'm gonna like rage on stream or some shit, and I don't want that to happen for my second stream in. So anyway, let's push that era to the side and get into the next part of... Let's get into the next part of this entire thing, which is when Roxy started streaming on her own channel. So, Fat Camp came and went, all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to figure out where I am at the story, just to make sure I haven't missed anything out. So bear with me 1 second. Okay. So then we get to the point. Yes, that's good. I haven't missed anything out, so that's good. But yeah, then we get into the point of the next part of this era where she ended up streaming on her own channel, and this was the point where I think things just really, really started to get better, because she ended up pretty much streaming onto her own channel and doing pretty much just what she wanted to do with streams and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what ended up going down for this. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of favorite streams as well at this time. There were so many good ones. Like you can't just pinpoint one because there were genuinely so many good ones. There was sleep streams, which ended up becoming a hit every single time. Very excited for them ones. Like it was, and it was like it was so good because there was like a good stream every like week or so, and yeah, just very fun to watch. So you had things like those sleep streams, and they were really fun. But then Roxy ended up taking it up to a new level when she ended up going to Six Flags and doing a IRL stream in Six Flags, which turned out absolutely insane. Like this is a case of streaming and then going on roller coasters at the same time, whilst also having a fear of heights and roller coasters and all that kind of stuff. So of course, this makes for some really interesting and fun content to watch. So yeah, all of this starts happening, and we get like the Six Flags stream, which, yeah, was a crazy stream. We also had streams where Roxy was doing like sleep streams with her sisters, Lala and Sam. So yeah, it became this whole big thing where like we had so many good streams. Again, another one that I remember is when they went to a hotel in I think they went to a hotel in a casino and ended up doing a load of like IRL streams from there. They were like really good content as well. So yeah, but by far one of the best things that I think has happened on Roxy's channel, and one of the most funniest crazes on the channel, has got to be the duck era. And if you're a viewer of Roxy's channel, you will know what I mean by the duck era. And I actually do have another clip to show from this era as well. But just before we do actually show that clip, I'm going to go ahead and explain to you guys about this era for those who don't know. So basically, a channel called Local Test ended up doing a thing where they basically had some little virtual ducks or something like that, and they had all like little duck animations or something along that, and if you dropped a TTS, you could name one of these ducks. And I was like, okay, this is quite an interesting thing. And then, funny enough, out of nowhere, Keemstar comes into the show, mid-show, comes into the show and is like freaking out over these ducks. So instantly, I think this is 100% meme worthy. So I went to create my own little meme. Thought it'd be the end of it, and yeah, that's sort of all what happened. And yeah, I just thought, okay, this is probably gonna blow over. No, it actually got even bigger, because what happened was Savage and Roxy ended up reacting to the stream of the ducks happening, and it became a huge thing, to the point where Roxy ended up going out and purchasing a bunch of rubber ducks, and basically anybody who donated or super chatted over a certain amount could name one of these ducks. And yeah, this got to a point where it became really funny, because the idea was to originally go to Keemstar's house and drop these ducks into his pond, which again was quite funny. Nat said, love ducks. Oh my god, yeah, I remember through this entire era, through this entire thing, I remember legitimately, like, I remember thinking at the same time, I was like, yeah, my girlfriend is obsessed with ducks. She had like a phase where she was completely obsessed with ducks. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, so this whole duck thing got bigger and bigger, and yeah, it got to a point where this actually happened. But the day that this actual event took place and the ducks were delivered to Keemstar's house, it ended up like raining or something, and there was a couple of little complications as to getting them into the pond and all of that kind of stuff. So pretty much after this happened, we were like, okay, this is going to happen within the next week, and this could be a live, this could be a something, this could be on Lolcow Live, whatever. And we weren't really, we didn't know what to expect. And then next minute, I see on Lolcow Live a clip of Roxy in the back of Keemstar's Tesla Cybertruck with a box full of ducks, dressed up as a duck. And funny enough, I have that exclusive clip right here for you right now. I think it was actually played on a couple of the shows, but the clip is not like widely available. But here we go. Here is the clip that I am talking about right now. So yeah, let's go ahead and play this clip. It's hilarious, and yeah, just watch the clip. It's hilarious.
So me and Brantley are at the gas station, and somebody popped into our car.
We'll try a present for you.
Were you stalking us? Like,
Not really stalking, but I knew the neighborhood, and I knew I was in here. So I'm like, you know what? Present, I gotta deliver it today. So I got you a little present.
okay, you wanted me to film this.
Yes, I do. So guess what?
Fix your angle.
For me and all the pirates, don't fuck with ducks, King.
Oh my
Don't
God.
gosh. I expect these to be read for every donor on your channel, and everyone has a message for you.
That is insane.
Oh my God. Fuck the ducks.
So, yeah. Don't duck with the ducks. As you could say if you wanted to censor it, or don't fuck with the ducks. So, yeah, this entire thing happened, which, again, was just hilarious. Like, just to see the clip popping up out of nowhere, it... absolutely hilarious. Nat said in chat, what the duck... Okay, now we're going to get loads of duck jokes. I may as well, just because of how cool this little clip was, let me open up the soundboard and give you guys a couple of ducks, just for the fun of it. So, yeah, that was the whole duck situation. And honestly, one of the favorite Roxy Unfiltered moments ever. It's got to be up there with some of the best ones of all time, because when I say this is hilarious, it was genuinely hilarious. And yeah, I also remember there was like a whole thing where pretty much so pretty much this... So we just had a little technical... We're back now. Okay, so pretty much... trying to think what I said. So we had... yeah, so the ducks. So with the whole ducks thing... yeah, so it's one of the things that it was so funny because I just didn't like know and figure out where, like, what this was going to be, and then just bam, I see that video clip and Roxy's dressed as a duck in the back of Keemstar's Cybertruck. That rhymed. I didn't intend that for it to rhyme. But yeah, so that entire thing happened, which was crazy and hilarious. So yeah, that entire thing went down. And yeah, I still gotta say, probably one of my favorite memories of Roxy's streams. And I say that because she's recently just announced that I think she got to cut down on the streams but she's gonna still try and stream. So she did make a whole announcement and a whole stream about that. So yeah, go ahead and check it out if you want to go ahead and see what that's all about. But yeah, and again, that's one of the main reasons why she couldn't be on this current stream right now, And yeah, that's one of the reasons why she wasn't able to be here, because pretty much she ended up getting busier, and yeah, schedule ended up getting more and more crazy due to a couple of things cropping up in her personal life. So yeah, that's why she couldn't be on stream today. And also, yeah, it is kind of sad, because I always do love just, some nights just ended up going on online and seeing the Roxy's live and just chilling in the streams, and they're always fun to watch. So when I found out that she could be doing less of them, it was kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm just hoping that things can work out a little bit more in the future, and that she can get to a position where she is able to come on and stream more again, because yeah, that would be much cooler. Because if we get more streams, and one thing that I am looking forward to, though, is that she is going to be doing a couple more IRL streams soon. So I'm excited and looking forward to them types of streams. So they're going to be very, very fun to see. Let's see where we are up to. So we've done the clip number 2. So, okay, we're all caught up now. So at this point, we get back to that these are going to be regular streams again, and yeah, so yeah, pretty much. Okay, so yeah, we're back to the streams. One sec, I'm just gonna figure out where we're gonna pick this up. One sec. Okay, yeah, I'm back now. So, the next part of this is where, yeah, so we... So yeah, after she basically ended up streaming on her own channel and doing all of these IRL streams and various other streams, we then got to a point where behind the scenes we ended up talking about doing some form of streams, and that is when we ended up actually planning this stream out. So yeah, after she basically ended up streaming on her own channel and doing all of these IRL streams and various other streams, we then got to, are you guys hearing this double? Behind the scenes we ended up talking about doing some form of streams, and that is when we ended up actually planning this stream out. So yeah, after she basically ended up streaming on her own channel and doing all of these IRL streams and various other streams, one sec. We then got to, are you guys hearing this double? Behind the scenes we ended up talking about... One sec, I'm gonna just mute this right now and get to fixing... That is when we ended up actually planning this stream out. So yeah, after she basically ended up streaming on...
Stream king flexing, press and record, no stressing. Frame tight, focus sharp, never second guessing. Live stream heat, no edit confession. Chat lit, crazier than a Shark Tank session. Lighting up the feed, living in a stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Timer set, blindfolded while the stakes peak. Spicy noodle sweat running, voice getting weak. Ice bath, cold words freeze mid-speak. Content so fire, it trends every week. Lighting up the feed, living in a stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Super chat rings, audience full of kings. Comment section buzzing, making viral wings. Challenges click, grip tighter like slings. Epic every stream, crowds flocking like spring. 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah. 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 Lighting up the feed, living in a stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam.
Okay, I figured out the technical issue that we had right here. So, yeah, so yeah, pretty much I had the stream playing in another tab, and it was playing through the two audios. So yeah, that was what was happening. But for some reason, it randomly happened in the middle of the stream instead of randomly opening at the start. So yeah, don't know what that was about, but we're back here now, and we're back to normal. Just do a little check. Is everything good with the audio right now? Let me know. Just put yes in the chat if everything is good with the audio. Put a yes in the chat. Everything good? Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. So, we're back. Okay. So, we're back. So, audio is fine. Okay, we're good. 100%. Okay, so let's get back to this story. So, at the end of... so at the end of this, we ended up starting to actually plan to do a bit of a stream, which, again, was... again, we planned to do a stream, and we actually planned a couple of ideas together. So, yeah, and things were looking sort of on track. But this was obviously the first idea, and then obviously now, because of the whole reason for why she couldn't make it to this stream, there is going to be a delay on them streams indefinitely. So we're going to try and figure something out to where I can obviously where we can figure out and get onto a stream like this. But yeah, until then, we're gonna just have to take it one day at a time and see how this goes. So, yeah, we want to make the collabs happen. Obviously, we want to do that, but I don't know what the future is gonna hold for this, and even like with this on the channel, and with what I'm gonna be doing with this and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so yeah, as Roxy could not make it to this stream today, I wanted to do something in honor. So I worked with somebody from Roxy community Lillian to create a little song and a music video. So Lillian made the song, which is called Roxy Plays Fortnite, and I decided to create a music video for that song. So I actually have this as a clip pulled up right here. So we're gonna go ahead, play the clip, and yeah, we'll play the clip right now because again, I'm gonna actually, yeah. So let me tell a little bit of a backstory to this whole thing. So the backstory to this song. So we have a mod Discord for Roxy's channel, and all of the mods from Roxy's channel basically are part of this Discord. And it was just an exclusive mod Discord, mod only Discord that we were a part of. So yeah, this was kind of like a whole thing. So one day we start realizing that underneath Roxy's profile, it starts saying played Fortnite, and we were like, okay, what's this? And then people started memeing it and turning it into a really big meme throughout the channel, where it's like, okay, Roxy plays Fortnite, and this becomes this whole funny thing. So yeah, it gets to this point where it's becoming this like really, really big meme, and then Lillian goes ahead and drops this song, and it turns out that it isn't actually Roxy playing Fortnite. Apparently it's her daughter playing Fortnite and using an account which is linked to the Discord or something along them lines. But I think as of currently, it says that she has over 300 hours of gameplay time, which of course got memed, and of course, after all this happened, yeah, this song was born. So let's go ahead and play the song right now, which is called Roxy Loves Fortnite. So let's hit this music video, and then I'll get back to you guys. And we've actually got a couple of quite interesting things to talk about. So yeah, I'm actually excited to tell you guys a couple of things because we're going to be doing some streams very, very soon. But let's take a little break and get this song on. Okay, 3, 2, 1. This is Roxy Plays Fortnite.
I've been playing Fortnite in my pretends, drinking G Fuel and I get the pens. Oh, I make fun of Lillian, so it's yelling at Paige again. Oh, I play Fortnite, baby, you could add me. Baby, gamer tag Roxy, gamer tag Roxy. Oh, I stream Fortnite, baby, you could add me, baby, gamer tag Roxy, gamer tag Roxy. Oh, I stream Fortnite, baby, you could sub me, baby, gamer tag Roxy, gamer tag Roxy. And I'm screaming a game on Asylum, how could you clip me? I've been playing Fortnite in my pretends, drinking G Fuel and my depends. Oh, I make fun of Lillian, so let's yell at Paige again. I've been playing Fortnite in my depends, drinking G Fuel and my depends. Oh, I make fun of Lillian, so let's yelling at Paige again.
Okay, so there you go. There is the music video. Music video is actually available to go ahead and watch on my YouTube channel. That is actually a video which is available to watch right now on my YouTube channel. So yeah, go ahead and watch it if you want to go relive that beautiful experience. So yeah, let's get on to the next part of this stream, because that was the full origin story, and it brings us all the way up to present day on how I ended up meeting and becoming friends with Roxy Unfiltered. So yeah, pretty crazy story. And yeah, if anybody has missed any of the story or whatever, you can catch the replay of the stream and catch up to date with all that sort of stuff. But yeah, pretty much so now comes the part of the stream where I am going to be talking about streams that I'm going to be doing in the future, because I have 2 weeks coming up where I am going to be incredibly free to do a lot of streams, and I'm actually going to be able to stream a little bit later as well, which is something I'm actually quite excited about doing. So we're going to be able to stream a little bit later, and that means that we have got a bunch of streams coming up, which I am very, very much excited for. So let's go ahead and talk about these upcoming streams. So I actually have a couple of streams where we're actually planning on doing some just IRL chill streams. I do have one where it is going to be a little bit more of a, it is going to be a little bit more geared towards a challenge kind of thing. So that is going to be a fun little stream to do. But we're also going to have some very, very chill streams where we're going to go ahead and either watch something, or we're going to go ahead and chill, and we're going to have just TTS on and all of that kind of stuff. So that is kind of the plan with all of these streams and stuff like that. So that is kind of what I've got planned for that. So yeah, let's talk about a couple of these streams. So I'm going to be doing a couple of streams where it's going to be, well, I don't know, it's going to be quite interesting, because I've got one where we just chill, and I'm going to roast some marshmallows, and we're going to chat and hang out. And then I've got other ones where we're going to do like the Chubby Bunny challenge, and we're going to do like various other little challenges and things like that, and stuff like that. And then we've got ones where they are going to be like full on proper, more challenge based kind of stuff. But after this, if this does go well and people do enjoy these streams, and people, yeah, just genuinely enjoy these, then I am planning on potentially doing some IRL streams. And that would be quite exciting, because it's something that I really want to do with these streams, and I want to do something where it's going to be more IRL. And like, there's only so much you can do where you can just sit in front of a computer like this and talk. So I want to do some IRL streams where we're like properly vibing, and we're out and about, and we got like a camera, and we can just film out and about, do various different things, go different places, and all of that kind of stuff. So that is the plan going forward. And I mean, streaming is something that I am actually quite passionate about doing. It's something that is kind of new to this channel. I've never really done something like this before now on this YouTube channel, so I've been mainly sticking towards the video type things, and sticking towards making just video content rather than live content. But it's something that I am very much excited to do and excited to explore, because it's something that I do have a lot of passion for, and I've always had a lot of passion for YouTube and making YouTube content and creating various different types of content. It just makes people happy, gives some entertainment to people, and puts a smile on people's face. Like, at the end of the day, if I can make a video or a stream and somebody can have a laugh from that stream, then I've definitely done a good job with that whole thing. So yeah, that is kind of that whole thing and what we're like planning on doing with the future of streaming on this channel. Another thing I do want to say is time-wise. Last time I did a stream, this time worked well on the weekend. Should I do later streams in the week and do earlier streams on the weekend? Like, how do you guys want to see this? Because I want to be live when most of you guys are able to come in and chill with the stream, because there's no point in me doing streams when nobody's available to come in and chill and talk in stream. So I want to know like what kind of time, because I did 1 p.m. New York time and 6 p.m. UK time, but if I need to be doing later streams, that is something that I can try and figure out, especially over the next 2 weeks. I will be able to do later streams, and that's something that I will be able to do, and something that I am planning to do for the future of these streams. After these 2 weeks, I don't know what I'm going to fully do about the timing, but if it works better to stream at this time on the weekend, then I'll do more weekend streams at this time. That's what I want to do. To be honest, probably better off doing streams on the weekend. Think about your American viewers. Yeah. Again, a lot of the people who love streams and love the streaming type of thing on this YouTube channel, a lot of them people who were in here last time were American viewers. So I want to try and adjust the time of these streams so that everybody can watch them, and that's one of the things that I am going to go ahead and do after I get done this stream, is I'm going to basically figure out when the best time to stream is, because obviously I came to stream today and it looks like people are off doing other things, and that, again, that is completely fine, but I want to stream at a time to cater towards the people who are going to be watching these streams. So yeah, especially because I'm not an established streamer at this point in time, so I don't have like a casual streaming audience. So yeah, it's gonna be one of the things that I think I just need to take a little bit of adjusting to, and getting to do all of this kind of thing with their streaming and stuff. So yeah, that is kind of the plan going forward. But yeah, as it stands, I have a ton of stream ideas for the next week, maybe, where more people are able to come into the stream. Again, I'm sorry about this being a little bit last minute as well. I wanted to get this stream out and done. I felt like this stream in particular was the thing that I needed the first domino to fall so I can get the next streams going. And that's kind of how I feel about this particular stream. So I was like, I need to really tell this story before I can get into actual streaming, so that people know like the backstory between how me and Roxy ended up becoming friends and how we ended up meeting and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, that is basically the whole thing and all of that kind of stuff. Obviously, yeah, so that is the plan going forward for these kind of streams. So I'm probably going to end the stream in a couple of minutes. So if anybody is in chat and has any questions about the future of the streaming on this channel and all of that kind of stuff, then go ahead and ask your questions now. I'm probably looking at getting off the stream in the next 10 minutes or so. So yeah, I'm gonna let me know what you guys think, and again, if you guys have any questions, sound them off to me in the live chat. So that said, good plan, by the way. Yeah, I'm just trying to turn this around and make this a positive thing, because I want to. This is something that I really, really want to do, and I want to give people good content, but I want to give it people live. Like I had ideas that I was gonna do on this stream right here today, which there'll be no point in doing them right now because the audience isn't sat here right now, in the chat, and that is probably due to the time difference and due to this being a weekday. So yeah, we're gonna be basically looking into this. So I'm gonna be doing a stream probably on Monday, but what I'll do is I'll do the stream a little bit later on the Monday so that it gives a chance for people to come in and be on the stream. So I'm probably going to do the stream probably on Monday or Tuesday, somewhere around there, very, very early in the week. I'm going to schedule it over the weekend so people know well beforehand that I'm going to be streaming, and it's going to be a little bit more interesting. And that said, this was a nice stream to listen to, by the way. And yeah, thank you very much for tuning into the stream and listening to the stream, because I always appreciate the feedback. And let me know, does the microphone being here a little bit closer to me, does it work better for the audio? Let me know, because of course if I need to go ahead and make audio changes and stuff, that's something that I can do in the future. So yeah, let me know how the audio is right now, and how it's got to be better than when the microphone was further away, right? Perfect sound. Okay, there we go. We've got perfect sound. So that's good. At least I don't need to buy a new microphone. That's great. So, yeah, this stream was a success in the end because I did troubleshoot a couple of problems, and now I know a couple of other things about streaming as well. Like, don't have the stream playing in another tab, and because it will randomly start playing about an hour into the stream. So, yeah, this stream was a good stream, I think, because again, just allow me to troubleshoot a couple of things from the last stream and get into this and start properly dipping my feet into the water, as to say. So yeah, I'm gonna probably end off this stream right now. We don't know if TTS works yet. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send a test, as I think you can actually do that. So you guys can hear on this stream my super chat thing. So that I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. So will be 1 second. We're gonna send through a test to test if this works. If this works and this does show up on stream as I want it to, then that's good, because that's good. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, my laptop has decided to do an update mid-stream, so we're going to be sticking around for another 5 minutes, probably whilst I get this all set up. So, 1 sec. Shit, I've got something in the way. 1 sec, guys. Right, so yeah, let me know if you can hear this and this all comes through well, because I'm going to go ahead and test out the super chats, because you can do a little testing. Let me know if that went through. I'm just watching the replay. Okay, so it didn't look like it went through. Let me... Have I done this right? Didn't hear anything. Okay, let me try troubleshoot this right now. Do I need to be clicking on this right here? One sec. Okay, so it is active. Right, we'll be right back. We're gonna do another. We're gonna do another test. We're gonna do another test.
Kevin tipped $94 through Super Chat. This is a test Super Chat message.
Okay, yeah. So it did work that time because I saw everything come up on the screen. So maybe that's because I need to click on OBS. I need to have the window active or something, or something along those lines. So I'll definitely have to make sure that in the future. But yeah, that actually fits nicely on the screen as well. So yeah, that all pops up on screen. I'm gonna go back and look at that as well, just to make sure everything is positioned good. Big up Kevin. Yeah, Kevin, our imaginary person. Obviously, yeah, but yeah. So TTS does work, so that's good for future streams and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think that is going to be pretty much the end of this stream right here. I know it is cut a little bit short, but I wanted to come on here and tell that story right here. I wanted to tell the story. I wanted to, yeah, and that's the main thing. I wanted to go on here and tell that story, and because that's the whole point of this stream. And just test a couple of things out as well, because I'm new to this. I'm new. I'm still learning things, and again, there's going to be little issues that crop up on stream and all that kind of stuff. But I'm glad that I'm finally figuring out some of the stuff from all of this as well. So yeah. Okay, so we're at the end of the stream. I'm going to go ahead and end this right now. So anybody who's came out to watch the stream, I just want to thank every single person for watching the stream. Even if you didn't hop up in chat or anything like that, I always appreciate the viewers. Anybody who's watching this in the playback as well, because I always appreciate the extra viewers from the playback. And yeah, I just need to figure out a better time to stream, because I feel like this is very early for a lot of people, especially if people are in work in the week and stuff like that. So I definitely need to figure that kind of thing out. So yeah, I will be back on Monday. I'm pretty sure we're going to do Monday night. So I'll be back on Monday streaming. Hopefully the time lines up a little bit better. I give you guys a little bit more notice, and hopefully it works out a little bit better on the Monday. I am going to save the chilies, because obviously we do have the chilies here for the super chat. So I'm actually going to go ahead and save these and carry these on to the next stream, because yeah, I think that's a good idea and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming out to the stream. Thank you for watching, and comment, like, and subscribe as always. The merchandise is available right now, so if you want to go ahead and support the channel, then you can go ahead and cop the merch. I'm going to be back in the merch. I did come in the thumbnail attire, what I wore for that thumbnail, for the thumbnail of the stream. I decided to go ahead and match it for the stream, but yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Cop the merch, link in the description. As always, if you want to become a member to support the channel, that is also massively, massively appreciated. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. We've got some great streams coming up very, very soon, which I'm very excited to go ahead and do, hopefully at a later time. But yeah, thank you guys all so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next stream. Let me get this. Okay. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next stream. Bye.
Yeah. Stream king flexing, press and record, no stressing. Frame tight, focus sharp, never second guessing. Live stream heat, no edit confession. Chat lit, crazier than a Shark Tank session. Lighting up the feed, living in the stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Timer set, blindfolded while the stakes peak. Spicy noodle sweat running, voice getting weak. Ice bath, cold words freeze mid-speak. Content so fire, it trends every week. Lighting up the feed, living in a stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Super chat rings, audience full of kings. Comment section buzzing, making viral wings. Challenges click, grip tighter like slings. Epic every stream, crowds flocking like spring. 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah. 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 Lighting up the feed, living in a stream dream. Challenges supreme, making moves on the live screen. Climbing views taller than a skyscraper beam. Ruler of the web, yet a stream king gleam. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Super chat rings, audio and still the kings. Spicy noodle sweat, running, voice getting weak. Ice bath, cold words freeze mid-speak. Content so fire, it trends every week. 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah. 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 24-hour grind, pulling stunts untamed. Duct tape to the wall, yet they all know my name. Enemies try to troll, but they softer than fame. This the marathon throne, and I run this game. Yeah.